Here.
Councilmember Love.
Here.
Councilmember Bilbro.
Here.
Councilwoman McCarthy.
Here.
Councilmember Scott has not arrived yet. Councilmember Love. I did call you Council President Raynor.
Here.
And Councilmember Wright.
Here.
Got you.
Where's the mayor?
Invitation. Mr. Billboard, think you can handle that?
Let's bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the time that we get to spend together to make the city better, to legislate, to put our minds together and our hearts together to create solutions for this city and the local problems that it's having. We want to ask for wisdom, guidance, and patience as we push the city forward. We want to ask for one mind, one band, one sound. In Jesus Christ's name we pray and give thanks. Amen.
Amen. We get a motion to make approval of the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Councilmember Love, second by Councilmember Wright. Any questions?
Online voting has been open. Councilmember Love. Councilmember Love, what's your vote for the agenda?
For.
Thank you. The agenda has been approved unanimously by the city council.
Thank you. I know you see it, but can you mark down that council?
I've already done. Thank you.
All right, approval of special session meeting on Thursday, April 18th.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Councilmember Wright, second by Councilmember Bilbro. Any questions?
Online voting has been open. Councilmember Love.
For.
Meeting minutes for Thursday, April 18th, 2024 has been unanimously approved by City Council.
Approval of regular work session meeting minutes for Monday, May 6th.
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Wright, second by Councilmember Higgs. Any questions?
Online voting has been open. Councilmember Love.
For. I hit yes, but.
It didn't come in. Councilmember Scott. Okay. Meeting minutes for Monday, May 6, 2024 has been unanimously approved by City Council.
Approval for public session meeting minutes held on Monday, May 13th.
So moved.
Online voting has been open.
It comes through Ms. Ball.
Yes, ma'am. Councilmember Scott? Okay. Meeting minutes for Monday, May 13th, 2024 has been unanimously approved by the city council.
Okay, approval of special session meeting minutes for Wednesday, May 29th.
So moved.
Moved by Councilwoman Love, second by Councilmember Wright. Any questions?
Online voting has been open. Councilmember McCarthy, okay. Meeting minutes has been unanimously approved by city council.
Thank you. Approval of closed session meeting minutes for Wednesday, May 29th.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Councilmember Wright, second by Councilmember Bilbro. Any questions?
Online voting has been open.
Thank you. Next, we will move to citizens' comments.
Okay, meeting minutes has been unanimously approved by city council.
Yes, I'm sorry. I apologize. Now we can go to the citizens' comments.
We did not have any citizen comments submitted online, but we do have several residents in attendance. Would either of you like to speak before the council?
Only thing I would,
Can you stand up to the podium, please? Can you stand up to the podium? Thank you.
the only issue I have,
Can you
Sir,
please
is-
state your name for the record?
my name is Chris Height. And only issue I have right now is that I really can hear your statements. When you was talking behind the thing, and I have a hearing problem. I couldn't hear none of the,
Okay, so we have a device for
None
you.
of his
Let me get the
statements.
device for you.
so, whatever y'all was proving just went right past me.
Thank you. Mr. President, if I may, Ms. Ball has a device for him to help him hear better for during the session. She'll get it for him in just 1 second.
Thank you.
Good evening, residents. Acting City Manager, Mr. Harris. Council. Good evening. So, the Ethics Commission, the current commission, was formed in March of 2022. So we've completed 2 years. And I think our term is up in September. I think I had to check with Ms. Ball. The report is in board docs. I don't know if anyone had an opportunity to read it. We had no advisory opinions in 2023. We didn't receive any complaints in 2023. There is one complaint that was filed prior to us being sworn in 2022, but that is with the lawyers, so we can't really do anything with that. So right now, there are no ethics items before the commission. And the last thing I would like to let the public and the council know, the members of the commission. We have Dr. Copeland, myself, Barbara Stewart, and William Henderson. We did have Ms. Ella Lewis resign from the commission, so we are looking for another commission member for the Ethics Commission. Ms. Ball, I guess you can let, if anybody's interested, how do they apply for that and what the process is. So we are looking for one more person to join us. And we did meet twice last year, July 1st and September 7th of 2023. We did meet to do some commission business. But we have nothing before us right now that we have to talk about. Are there any questions? Yes, Ms. Love.
Mr. Jones, how do you all determine when you meet?
Well, we decide amongst ourselves with the availability of the city clerk and the lawyer. And it's usually not an issue. The lawyer sometimes gets, he gets a little busy, but we have had no problems when we needed to meet that we're able to meet. Like we just met this year to go over the council's financial disclosures forms to make sure those were in order. So we did meet, was it 2 weeks ago, Miss?
May 9th.
May 9th, yeah. We met, wow, was that long? It's June now. So, yeah, we decided amongst the commission members and then the attorney and our wonderful city clerk puts it all together.
All right, thank you.
Councilman Beloved, I would also like to add that if they receive a complaint, once the complaint is received, then the commission will, schedule a meeting to meet. So usually the code only requires them to meet once a year to address business. So typically this year they met just to review the financial disclosure statements, but no other business has come before the commission. For the record, I just wanted you to know.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we don't have any current issues, and we hope it stays that way.
Hey, Ms. Jones, how you doing?
Hey, Donovan, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you so much. Can you, for those who are listening, kind of explain what it is, what it means to be on the Ethics Commission? As the position, what it would require, and things of that nature?
The qualifications?
Sure, you can add that in too.
Okay, I'll just read you part of the report that kind of covers that. An independently established pursuit to Chapter 18 of the Sea Pleasant City Code, the Commission is charged with the duty to impartially shape, administer, and enforce the city's ethics and lobbying laws. The Commission has a core mission to promote broad, fair, and equal participation in the city government. At the center of this mission is the goal of promoting trust in the effective and equitable practices of local governments by recognizing and removing obstacles to fair and equal participation. We invite your ongoing participation in the vital work and welcome your feedback on this report. And of course, the commission is, correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Ball, is approved by the mayor and council of perspective.
Recommended by the mayor and approved by the city council.
By the council, yeah. So if you know anyone, I don't know about the age requirement,
It doesn't,
18,
it-
I'm not sure,
you have to be of legal age.
legal age.
And a
Okay.
resident of the city, and submit a letter of interest to the clerk's office that will then be presented to the mayor, who then will present it to the council for approval.
Okay, so for those listening, you know, like Ms. Ball said, we're only required to meet once a year. And so it's not a big time effort unless we get a bunch of items, complaints, which in 2 years we've had, what, 3?
Two.
2. Okay. So if you know anyone, if you'd like to join, you can call Miss Ball at City Hall and come join us. We need one more person, but we're not limited to 5, are we?
Yes.
We are limited to 5. Okay. So if you'd like to join us, contact Miss Ball.
Thank you, Mr. Jones.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Yes, Mr. Jones.
How you doing, Mr. Wright?
I'm doing fine, sir. Thank you. Are we, this body here, and city employees required to undergo ethics training?
I'll have to defer that to Miss Ball. I don't think that's,
It's, there's a class that you can take at the Maryland Municipal League, if you're interested in it, but as far as a requirement, there isn't a stated requirement in our code or charter.
Okay, thank you very much.
okay. Is that something you think it would be helpful?
Without a doubt, but that's another matter for another time. Thank
Okay.
you, sir.
Good evening, Mayor Porter.
Good evening.
Any more questions? Yes, ma'am. Oh, they have to. You have a hand up. Councilman Rainey, you have a young lady would like to speak. Oh, you asked me a question? Yeah. Oh, you can stay there. I thought you were answering them. Yeah, go ahead.
You sit at
Can they come? Oh, okay.
State her name.
We used to say you had to state the ward you lived in.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I am Charlene Smith, and my question to you is there a requirement as to how long you have to be a resident of Sea Pleasant to be on the ethics?
There currently isn't a requirement that you be a city resident for a certain amount of months or years. So if you just moved here and you live in one of the 5 wards, what ward are you? 3, okay. All right, well, contact Ms. Ball.
Outside the fact to say that, I apologize for the I like the fact that you all, when you talk about having a commitment and doing something for the city in such a manner, we have to applaud you for what you do. People don't realize that the service and the act of that capacity is quite a bit, you know. And we need to have people, as you mentioned, if you would think about something that being a part of the board, we need more people to volunteer. We may have a specific vision, or let's see, the mayor may have a vision, the council may have a vision as to what they want to have to take place, but really it's about the people's vision and how you go about doing things and how you look at things and how you want things to progress and how you hold us accountable for what we do. So we certainly appreciate those who want to be a contributing part of what we do as the city progresses and move forward. So I just want to say that I appreciate all that you do, and we'd like to have more participation, okay, in that particular realm.
Thank you, Mayor Porter. Oh, you were late, so I'll just mention we are down 1 resident. We have a vacancy, so if you know anyone that would like to join us.
Certainly. There are people, let me just say this, there are people that this city, because of what this city has been doing, we've been doing some good things, okay? And don't think that the surrounding community hasn't seen exactly what this city is actually doing, because they have.
even so much so that there's been inquiry about being a part of our city. So be proud of what it is in in the service, okay, that's being done, because it is being, outside of any negative looks and so forth, we're also getting a lot of positive looks. So I see that, you know, as we try to expand our boundaries, we have more people interested in doing that. But certainly that's the council body bring forward some names so we can have some people that want to represent and bring them toward me. It's supposed to be a situation where the mayor actually has an opportunity and then presents to the council, and council makes a final decision as to what they want to do. Okay.
Thank you.
I sure can. Good evening, Mayor and City Council members, and to our stakeholders. My report is in board docs for your review. Just to go over a couple of highlights, based on our previous conversations from the regular work session, I am excited to announce that the Call 'em All and Text 'em All is active. We started sending out texts today, or calls today, one or the other. And so more information will be out in July's newsletter to get more people signed up. As we continue to do our walks throughout the community, I've tasked public engagement with getting more residents signed up through the Call 'em All and Text 'em All, also through other means, email, when we're promoting different things that the city is having. So we just signed the bill a couple of days ago, and I heard that some residents already started receiving it. Also, you'll notice that the trailer signage has been deployed in every ward. Rick, our public engagement manager, has been trained on how to update that signage. So if you have particular messages for events or anything like that that you want to be advertised, please get with him, that we can make sure that that information is getting out in a timely manner. I have mandated that that we make sure that the council meetings are posted in a timely manner in each ward, but I know that each representative may have an event or something in particular that we could potentially promote to get more resident input. So if it's something in your particular ward that you would like to see on that signage, please let him know. He has been fully trained, so he's able to make those updates. I did mention that we had made some purchases of solar signage to go throughout the city. Those signs are in. They'll be deployed. About the first 10 will be deployed starting sometime this week by EJD. Those signs are solar and they kind of light up. So some of our target areas where we talked about where speeding was of concern or pedestrian safety was concerned, we're actually going to start deploying those signs, and as they go out, I'll send some pictures out for you all can drive by and see what that looks like. There are a couple of target areas on the list that definitely need to be addressed, so we're doing that. The Arts and Humanities Council from Prince George's County has reached out about us looking at revisiting, redoing some of the crosswalks in certain areas in the community that definitely need some attention. We did do a walk earlier today in Ward 2 and 3 on certain areas that we know have been areas of concern for some time now. So we're looking at a plan to look at crosswalks. I told you maybe a year ago, that the Arts and Humanities Council has a plan for what it looks like for crosswalks or road engineering. One, to slow drivers down, but to also beautify the community. We have done that. We're still working with EJD on the curb appeal, so the yellow curbs, things like that we talked about. I did not know originally that we were painting the curbs by hand. And so I did authorize EJD to purchase the machines and actually to get that done, which is a lot quicker. So they're in the training process. The machines came in, they're in the training processes this week, just to make sure that the guys understand how to use the equipment to start that. Mr. Barber's gonna come up with a schedule for each ward. We'll make sure you all know that schedule. And so we can get the curb appeal done a lot faster than we've done it in years past. I think we've all agreed that I think that's something that we need to do every year. And so I think our road repair funds can certainly support that. I was able to take a tour of the Fit and Fun Park and look at, there was a original ARPA project that you all had approved some time ago, and I believe it was on pause with some equipment and things like that to redo that park in certain areas. Phase 2 of that project, I'm looking to potentially go forward with that. There's a lot of trees behind there. I know that tree project had originally stopped for some reason, but I am concerned about the dead trees and things back there, potentially just falling on potential houses if we have a storm or something like that. And so we have the original bids that came in. I think we're going to move forward with that. But if we're going to do that, you guys know the back of that park, it has a trail that leads to Birchleaf Park. I'm asking that the engineering company come in and give us some ideas of how we can beautify that area and really utilize that park to its full extent. And so that trail back there, while it's been cleaned out, I think if we add potential lighting back there, it can be a proper walking path from the Fun and Fit Park to Birchleaf Park and can be utilized by our residents. And so I'm interested in your ideas of what you want to see over there. I think we can really do some great things if simply fixing the drainage and making sure that the water is draining properly behind the park, but it could really look amazing if we really put our heads together. So, and to avoid anything, I don't want a tree falling on somebody's house, and I think a couple of the trees a bad storm is going to be a problem real soon. And so we've gotten one bid on the tree removals and the project. I've asked Ms. Rhoda and Mr. Barber to get some additional bids to see what it can look like, and then bring in some engineering just to make sure that we're accommodating any drainage issues, things like that. But it can really expand the park and beautification of the area. So look forward to that. The equipment, the fitness equipment that will go in and around it, I think if you all have ever been in Riverdale Park and some other municipalities up north, they have equipment like that, and it's being utilized. It could be, I think we could really do some great things in that park, and so we could talk more offline about that. Other than that, I'll take any questions you all may have.
Good evening, Mr. Harris. I have a question about the dog park. I see that you guys were able to get the wood chips up and put down grass, but the equipment was not returned to the dog park. So now it's just a field of grass, and I see where the equipment is sitting over to the side. Is that gonna be reinstalled at any point?
Talking to Mr. Barber, that is the plan. Also, it's not just that equipment, but we're gonna reinstall it. We just need to get that done. Also, the grills and stuff that were removed originally need to be replaced in Goodwin Park as well. And so instead of purchasing things in bits, I wanted to get kind of an assessment of the entire park, everything we still needed to purchase or order, because some of the equipment that for the dog park was damaged, so it needs to be replaced. But I'll have an answer for you later on this week, and we can talk. But the plan is to put everything back.
Mr. Harris, I had the opportunity to go on a ride-along last week with Officer Alex Rice for about 4 hours. It was very eye-opening and revealing. And as you know, I'm a walker, but there are a lot of things that I see, but I didn't know that I didn't see. I just want to commend the police department for setting that up. And I do want to make one observation, and if you wish to comment on it, please do. I find it interesting that a lot of the crime that takes place in Seat Pleasant, the overwhelming majority of it is committed by non-residents, not residents. And that's something that members of the media and maybe the general public need to know and understand. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Councilman Wright. That is correct, and that is something why the annexation of Central Avenue was so important to the city, was because it wasn't that we were dealing with crime necessarily in our residential communities. It was the people coming through. Seat Pleasant is a gateway to Washington, D.C., and so we find that a lot of our calls for service are people coming through. And so that is still always of concern, but I do appreciate you going on that ride along. I do encourage any of the council members who, even when we go through our budget process next year, things like that, get an opportunity to ride with the police department, just to see what they're experiencing in order for us to make a better assessment of the needs of the department. But I appreciate you going out. I did hear that you were going out, but I didn't get the report on any of the things. So I'm glad you're safe, and so I appreciate you going out.
I'm appreciative of the efforts that you make, especially when you talked about the Fun and Fitness Park and how collaboratively that park connects to another very important park that's utilized, that's manned by Park and Planning. So we need to make sure that we really get out there and get with them, because the things that they have not done, and I put that as a matter of record, need to be done for that particular park as well as any other park that we have in the city. But by us getting these parks in real good shape, we'll get more participation, more utilization in the park. As you said, that particular alleyway, so to speak, or a trail way back there is a connective thing to connect one of these parks all the way along. People don't realize we had a lot of things that were connected, okay, coming out of D.C., all the way as far as at one point in time to Chesapeake Beach, Calvert County. So there's a lot of connectivity. It's also what we're looking at as far as doing things with our other communities. I don't know if there's been any discussion on that, but we have to connect. You mentioned Central Avenue is a gateway. Martin Luther King Highway is an aspect of a gateway. Even going as far as when you look at Sheriff Road and so forth, the connectivity of these roads become very extremely important to us and how we're going to deal with things in the future, okay? And how we impact one another, both Capitol Heights, Fairmont Heights, and Seat Pleasant together acting as a unit. So that's going to be very important. I'm interested in the aspect of what we need to do to go towards some lighting to light up these parks, be it either through some aspect of electricity, indoor solar lighting, things of that nature, because that might be more cost effective for us, and us to be able to get sufficient lighting in those communities. So our citizens can get out there and walk and enjoy your city. That's important. A walkable community, not just a community where you come in, only place you can go and feel like you have a safe restitution, if that be the case, is your home, okay? So we want people to get out, be an interconnected part of the city. So that's, I applaud you on pushing that effort forward, okay? Because that's going to be very important, I think, for reference to the city. So, thank you.
Council President. Good evening. Thank you for your report. However, it's not in board docs, but for this week, it was stuff in there from last week, so I just toggled over, but it's not showing up for whatever reason at this current moment. It may be there, it just could be a glitch. But I wanted to know about NCC. Did we?
Yes, I forgot to tell you all. So we did issue offers. They started today.
Yay!
So they did start today. We had them basically on their onboarding and orientation phase. When I went down to the police department today, they were actually taking their tour of the city. And so there are some immediate projects they have to jump on, particularly when it comes to a few of the abandoned homes, vacant properties. This time, is really busy for NCC because this is when business licenses and rental inspections have to be done before July 1st. So they're going to hit the ground running with that. But we do have some immediate properties that need to be addressed, particularly one in Ward 1, one in Ward 5. There is one in 3 that I've put on the list that are, I think, held up in court matters, but NCC has to jump on it immediately. Some, just to make sure some of those properties have liens already on it, or to figure out what we can do with it. And so they do have experience. One is from DPI, and so I'm excited about that. And we'll send some pictures out and let you all meet them real soon, maybe in the next week or so. But they are in training. They're here, so we are grateful. So I thank you for staying on top of that. And I really do appreciate you all looking at those salaries, because I think that made a big difference in us getting them to come.
Perfect, thank you. My next question, the Prince George's County Summer Youth Enrichment Program, is the city actually going to participate, or have you heard anything about us participating?
I have not heard anything about us participating, but I think that we could potentially look at our own program that we could potentially build out with some internships, things like that. So if that's something that the council is interested in, we could possibly do it. But I have not. I have to do some more research on it. I have not, but we could potentially either partner or do our own thing if need be.
So I know for this year, it's probably too late. Offers have already went out, for the youth who applied. And so the youth in my family that is in the program, they're already doing like their trainings and stuff like that. So this year would absolutely be too late. In the past, we have worked with the county and we were a site. So I think it's something that we could do. We would just have to wait until next year to do it. Or we could try to maybe do our own thing, but it may be a heavy lift because it's already mid-June.
And they start
And
the 1st of July, right?
like the beginning of July, so.
The reason I asked that is because I had a resident reach out to me today and said that their child would be working in the city, and I was like, I'm not aware that we
Maybe,
were.
so the training source is a site?
Okay, that's what I was looking for.
The training source
Okay.
is a site for,
Perfect.
the summer, youth enrichment program.
Okay. Okay, that's all I needed to know. Thank you. And thank you for NCC coming on. Hopefully now we get these lights on Addison Road. It's about 5 lights that's still out.
I drove through Saturday and I saw, Saturday night, and I saw quite a few. And Mr. Barber actually mentioned it to me today without me bringing it up. And so we talked about some of the energy efficient programs that we saw, them changing the lighting out. So he's supposed to be doing some research and looking into it. But it's not just Addison Road. We saw some on Sea Pleasant Drive. There is like 1 or 2 in the valley that was brought to my attention, and there are some on Gregg Street that are of concern. So we want to make sure that that's taken care of.
And some of them, they flicker.
Particularly
You can ride under it and it'll come on. So I don't know if it's solared or what, I'm not sure, but it has happened. I've circled the block and come back and
I saw them like flickering same time like as you went down. So I didn't know if that was like how they come on or something. But like literally as I was driving down, they were flickering as we were coming down. So it's something that we definitely need to address. But Mr. Barber's definitely on it because he mentioned it to me without me saying anything.
thank you. I yield.
There's a timing thing with reference to the lights, okay? The lights aren't in sync, okay? And that's why we really need to get with Pepco and make sure they get out and give a full circle around the city and see exactly how these lights are actually taking place. We was at a place where people thought lights weren't coming on, but actually stood there for a long enough period of time and the lights did come on, okay? So that's something that we really need to address, okay? Also, there was concern with the type of light we have, the amber light as opposed to other types of light. Even the council president mentioned the fact that if we are going to get lighting, he would prefer that we not have the type of lights that are on Martin Luther King Highway. Is that right? It's a type of light. So we kind of look at what we're doing as far as the overall lights, but there's something that needs to be addressed throughout the entire city. They're not really in sync, so which makes people think a lot of the lights aren't coming on. They come on late.
Yeah.
2 hours beyond the other lights and so forth, that type of thing.
What happened? I thought you all had a conversation like a year or 2 ago about possibly purchasing poles or something like that. Do you remember? I don't remember. Somebody introduced it. I don't know what happened with that.
Well, we have places and going around the city too that actually where there were lights, and people say the lights are not there anymore. So it needs to be addressed. Some of the cul-de-sacs that would have had 1 to 2 lights now they have maybe 1. Okay, it's not lighting up the whole cul-de-sacs. We do assessment. He says, Mr. Barber, go around, really look and see what we have. And once we have our full line of code enforcement and so forth, maybe we can make it a situation where they go out and they're out kind of out at dusk.
So it's very hard when it comes to, I'm telling you, just working in the police department, it's very hard dealing with Pepco in these poles. And I think we've all experienced that. I would like us to see us come up with a tangible plan that every year we execute certain areas and lighting, things that we can actually do. The department heads have been tasked with looking at tangible results. I think we do a lot of talking, and nobody does these executions of things. So, but I want to see tangible results on how we can provide what I call the 5-star experience back to the resident. So, lighting is always is an issue, right? And we've always talked about how dealing with and calling the pole is a problem, but we need to come up with I think we need to just put our heads together and come up with a better solution on how we can get it fixed in a timely manner. Because even calling them is just not working.
Okay.
And so, let me put my head together, let me get with Mr. Barber. One of the things he's going to do, why MML is important, he's teaming up with a couple other municipalities, like College Park and some of the areas, just seeing their operation, how that is working. Because I think that's going to help us kind of figure out a better execution for what we're doing in Sea Pleasant.
I'm sorry, City Council, if you refresh your Board Docs app, you can see the departmental reports. I'm sitting here trying to whisper it to everyone, but if you refresh, you can see the reports in Board Docs. You're welcome. And as far as the listening device, it had to be reconfigured, so they're working on it now.
Okay. Again, for the citizens, my report is in Board Docs. Pretty much the report we go over in our work session. For those who haven't had an opportunity, just give you an idea of what I did monthly. On May the 1st, I met with Next Generation Power Method, Inc. Again, when we talk about bringing people from the next generation and so forth, these people that we're dealing with, okay, can be helpful in us making sure that we have our programs set, okay, to bring in programs so that we're kind of doing a timely manner so that we don't fall short, okay, even though we look for our county in certain cases with reference to summer jobs to help us and so forth with programs, but we do or should have our own, and we're moving forward. Sea Pleasant Day meeting on May the 1st, May the 6th, the regular session, 13th, the interim city manager meeting. I had a meeting with Mr. Harris. I want to get an idea of what, to make sure that he came up with an interim plan. I think he has a designated good plan for moving the city forward. He's been doing some things, working collaboratively with his staff and with the council to move some programs forward on a fast track. I'm really very pleased that he's doing that, and citizens should be as well. Hopefully they're seeing results. A regular public session on May the 13th, along with an ARPA balance meeting on May the 13th. Historic preservation, which is a committee I sit on for the county. We deal with historic properties throughout the county. People don't really, we're going to come try to make you more aware of what we actually have in the city that has historic value, so you know that your city has been on the map for a good period of time. May the 23rd, Lead by Example. That was a virtual meeting for, again, leadership and bringing youth into the fold, both male and female, because a lot of programs, they normally target those programs either toward females or males. I'm trying to look at programs that kind of bring in the fold and also target specific age groups. If we don't catch some of these youth at like even the 3rd and 4th grade level, we're going to have problems, okay, and so forth. So we're looking at that as a way of getting our city into the future. Closed session on May the 29th, and at a meeting in celebration of the Heritage Month on May the 30th. As far as ordinances, I participated on the 02413 adoption of fiscal year 2024-25 and that second reading. May 10th, I presented as far as proclamations, a proclamation presentation to Sea Pleasant Elementary School, and also a Memorial Day wreath on May the 30th at our memorial at Addison and Martin Luther King Highway. Also presented a proclamation for International Municipal Clerks Week to our clerk who does a fantastic job of reference to making sure we get things that we need. It's a difficult job, and she is certainly worthy and has received a lot of acclamation from this, not just the county, but the state. Teachers Appreciation Week proclamation, a proclamation also for National Cities, Towns, and Villages Month, and for National Public Works Week, because we do appreciate our public works. Hopefully, if your citizens see us out there doing some good work and so forth, okay, or if you have some, let's just say the word complaints or concerns, please let us know so that we can get them addressed. I think that they're doing a stellar job. We look forward to making sure that they have what they need in order to move forward. On May the 18th, I had a Community Kinship Coalition meeting with the Youth Summit down here at the Sea Pleasant Activity Center. Again, trying to capture and impact the youth that we have and seeing them move forward. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mayor. Any questions? Okay. Come to my report. Hold on, here it comes. Monday, May 6th, work session. Monday, May 6th, work session. Monday, May 13th, public session. Wednesday, March 29th, special and closed session. Legislation ordinance 0-24-13, adoption of the fiscal year 2024-2025, second reading. Meetings, a meeting with interim city manager on May 2nd. MML Digital Library SureCam webinar on May 14th. PGCMA meeting on May 16th. Events, Police Unity Tour, May 12th. In Ward 1. Y'all left me out there by myself. Virtual joint National Day of Prayer with County Exec Angela Also Brooks. Seat Pleasant Elementary School Appreciation Luncheon, which they presented us with a certificate, but I didn't ask Chief to bring it. Also, an event that I neglected to tell the staff assistant, the Fallen Officer Memorial. That was at the beginning of the month. I can't remember the exact dates, excuse me. But the mayor, Mr. Bilbro, Ms. McCarthy, right? I believe most of us made it. Yes. Okay. Conferences, none. County committee meetings, I believe there were none for the month. Okay. And as far as attendance, I believe everybody was here and present. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let me work this thing we'll be doing next. No unfinished business. New business. Council recess, 7.1. Well, are we all planning to do a recess during the month of August? Anyone want to discuss it?
I'm okay with it.
Or you want to
We
make a
just need
motion?
we just need the consensus because you have to pass a resolution next month. That's, yeah. So if it's the consensus of the council to have the recess, and I can have the resolution prepared for the regular work session on July 1st.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Recess mean recess.
Yes, as well. And announcements. Okay, Mr. Bilbro.
If you could follow along, please. 8.1 MML Summer Conference, Ocean City, Maryland, from June 23rd to the 26th. 8.2 regular work session, Monday, July 1st, 2024. Seat Pleasant City Hall, Council Chamber, 6301 Addison Road, Seat Pleasant, Maryland, hybrid and by Zoom video at 6 p.m. Meeting link details will be on the city's website. 8.3 public session, Monday, June 10th. Seat Pleasant City Hall, Council Chamber, 6301. Seat Pleasant, hybrid and by Zoom video at 7 p.m. Meeting link details will also be on the city's website. And then lastly, 8.4 regular work session, Monday, July 1st, 2024, Seat Pleasant City Hall, Council Chambers. Same address, 6 p.m., hybrid and by Zoom video. Meeting link details will be on the city's website.
There is an 8.5, I know it did read.
And 8.5, excuse me.
Okay.
Public session, Monday, July 8th, Seat Pleasant City Hall, Council Chambers, same address, hybrid and by Zoom video at 7 p.m. Meeting link details will be on the city's website. Thank you, Mayor.
Yes.
How y'all doing?
Sir, I do apologize that the listening device wasn't working, so if you come to the next meeting, we'll make certain that it's up and running for you, okay? Thank you for joining. We look forward to seeing you.